Hi my loves, welcome back, welcome to my channel. Welcome if you guys are new. I feel like it was just yesterday that I filmed my July TBR video, but we're here already about to film our August, or pick out TBR for the month of August. I was very intentional with my TBR for the month of July. I was traveling, so I wanted to be pretty minimal, like only pick books that I would really want to get to, or like smaller books that I thought were easier to get to. I had a kind of idea of what I wanted before I even started. But this month, I kind of have a bit of freedom. I will say I did not read very many fantasy books in the month of July, so I am craving a fantasy TBR. I want more fantasy books, to be completely honest. I'm getting to the point where I wish I could just read more books in a month because and I wish I had more hours in the day because there are so many books I really want to get to and I just feel so overwhelmed at the moment with choices. So, I mean, I guess that's like a good problem to have. There's just so many books I want to read. So, in saying all that, we are going to get straight into today's video. I have my TBR jar as per usual. We're going to be using that to pick my reads for the month. Yeah, we definitely need to top this up soon, but I think we definitely have enough prompts for the month. We're going to be picking 5 prompts. I think that's been a good amount. And then plus my book club book for the month, which is, what is it? Like 11 something 63, the Stephen King book. I'm really terrified for it, so wish me luck for that one, but that's the book club pick for the month for Patreon. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's pick our first prompt. I did buy some books over in Europe, and then I also have some book mail. So I feel like we've got a bit of a range, like possibilities this month on what we could get. So first book is reread a book you, sometimes I write these prompts and I'm like, what was going on in my head? Reread a book you never thought you would. Oh, this is kind of hard because like there's so many books I want to reread. I just haven't had the time. Do you know what I've wanted to reread for a long time now? Lord of the Rings. And would that be a bit of a cop out? Because yes, I knew I was going to reread that book when I read it. I don't, that's a terrible prompt by me. I don't like that prompt. Why did I do that? Sometimes I don't know. I just want to reread Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. I can't think of anything else. That's what I'm going to reread because I'm not going to put myself through a book that I didn't enjoy to reread it. The other thing I could do is oh, do you know what no. I just watched The Odyssey. I was going to say I could reread The Odyssey because when I was reading that in high school, did not think I would want to reread that, but I think there's been a newly kind of adapted or translated version that's a little bit easier to read. I feel like I could do an Emily Henry, but I feel like, again, I thought I was going to reread them. Guys, this is a terrible prompt by me. I'm definitely going to be picking a cop-out. Should I just pick The Hobbit? Should I just pick The Hobbit, guys? Unless, oh, do you know what I could do? I've got it. I know what I'm going to do. I have 2 options here. Now, my thought train for this is I want to reread these books with new releases coming out. And I never thought I would. So I think I was going to say ACOTAR, but I feel like I thought I might have reread that at some point because I did really enjoy that when I first read it. But I don't think I ever thought I'd want to read or reread Fourth Wing again because I really liked the first one, but the second ones just weren't really it for me. And I just didn't think I'd need to reread it. But I feel like I'm missing out on something here. I feel like because I read Fourth Wing and then waited ages in between Iron Flame, I know that the best reading experience you can have is reading Iron Flame pretty quickly after Fourth Wing, like having that background knowledge and everything. So I think we might pick Fourth Wing for my reread, which I never thought I'd do. I might even do this via audio reread. That works. That fits the prompt. I was going to say, I have no idea. But yeah, I just never thought I'd reach to reread this one because it wasn't my favorite book in the entire world. It was just like a fun fantasy read. And so I didn't think there'd be a need for me to pick it up again. But anyway, let's go with that one for this first prompt. Okay, our second prompt is, let's go with this one. I try and piece true and just like pick whatever lands on top. This is a little bit better. An unforgettable cover. Definitely a little bit better than my last prompt. That was terrible. What covers do I have that really stand out to me? Now, I will say I feel like I don't have that many fantasy books that are really standing out to me at the moment in terms of covers. So the ones that I picked are kind of, they're like, just have stayed in my mind, I guess, after I got them. And then I also have a contemporary. This one is very memorable to me because it's an ARC cover and it is Theodora's Tea Shop by Christy Ann Jones. And Hashtag gifted me this, but obviously this stands out because like, look at that. It's so reflective. It's just a really fun. I just remembered one. What am I talking about? I don't know what is going on today. Okay, I'll go through these and then I have one that I probably will end up picking. I did have Riftborn as well. I don't know why, but this just reminds me of Slytherin, okay? This ARC cover just reminds me of Slytherin and I really want to read this one. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, it's not that crazy or anything. It just gives me like nostalgic fantasy kind of vibes. I just realized what I have. That's obviously an unforgettable cover. The background to this is I applied kind of recently-ish for Fairy Loot ambassadors. I didn't think I would get it. I have wanted to be a Fairy Loot ambassador for such a long time now. I have been on the waitlist for like the subscription. It just seems like such a cool subscription service to me. I actually became a Fairy Loot ambassador for the next few months. So I only have a few months of this and I am like gonna take full advantage of that. I am so excited to get some of these books. I am so excited to share them with you guys. And of course, an unforgettable cover. This is the first book I got sent. This is, I believe, a YA novel and it is a fantasy and it is called The River She Became by Emily Varga. Obviously, this cover is unforgettable. The sprayed edges as well. I am a big believer in like reading special edition books. I think unless like it's a book that you absolutely love and you just want to collect as many editions as you can, I think it's really important to have books read. So I don't know what this one's about, but it is absolutely stunning. So we can figure it out. What's it about together? So it says, enter a fantasy world bursting with dangerous romance, heart-stopping twists, and a heroine who dares to steal back her future. Yasmina is a brilliant scholar and loyal servant of the Empire, or so they think. By day, she catalogues Fey relics of her conquered kingdom. By night, she steals them back to restore magic to her dying land. When she finds the long-lost key to the Fey world on the other side of the river, she discovers a ruthless realm ruled by monsters wearing beautiful skin. Among them is a cold-eyed captain who sees through her lies, yet he harbors his own secrets, and to succeed, he needs the same relic Yasmina seeks, the crown of the ancient Fey Queen. To survive ancient curses and nightmare creatures, they must work together. But it soon becomes clear that the greatest danger isn't their mission, it's losing their hearts to each other. It does sound very like your kind of classic YA fantasy. I think this is YA, but it does sound like your kind of classic YA adventure. But what I feel like I'm most intrigued about for this is the world. It sounds like we have some really fun mythical creatures, some really fun magical kind of beings, which you guys know always really, really entices me into fantasy books. And as I said, I'm feeling really fantasy deprived after the last month. So I would love to delve into this. I feel like it's not super long. It's just under 400 pages. I need to find like beautiful areas to start displaying these books. I feel like I need another bookshelf. I just don't have room. This one is just like absolutely stunning. I'm so excited to dive into this. And it's a very readable book. Like the text is really big. I won't be used to having my usual reading habits with this, obviously. I'm going to be very careful, but it is stunning and I think it's worth reading. So I think we'll put this one on the TBR. That's exciting. Okay, let's pick our third prompt. I feel like I've forgotten what most of, which one are we gonna go with? Let's go, I'm drawn to this one. I feel like I've forgotten what most of these prompts are, to be completely honest. A book you'll read in 24 hours or less. So a book, I guess, that's giving like an addictive premise, or it's maybe quite short, or you've just heard that it's really addictive. I definitely have a few of these, I think. First one that's coming to mind, Main Characters by Bobby Palmer. I got this one when I was in Paris. I've recently seen like Bailey read this and say it was a 5-star read for her, so I'm really excited about it. I'll read the back, but I've talked about it a little bit before. It says, when Clara and Seb meet in a quiet corner of London, it is the start of something. She wants to be a director. He is an actor, unsure what he wants from life. Their connection is magnetic. Everyone can see that falling in love looks something like this. But when Clara casts Seb in a film that will make her name, what should be the happiest time of their lives ends in gut-wrenching betrayal. Some love stories are bigger than just two people. This one is told through the eyes of friends, flatmates, exes and strangers who see all sides of Seb and Clara, from their first date to the moment they fell apart. Everyone has their version of events, but only Clara and Seb can decide how their story ends. It's a love story told by everyone but the main characters. I think that is the funnest concept ever. I've never read anything like that before. And it's quite short. Oh, it's actually 400 pages or just under. I don't know, something about like a contemporary fiction, romance fiction always makes me read it really quickly. I feel like compared to a lot of my like normal reads, these are often quite easy ones to get through. And as I said, I've heard incredible things. So that one's a really, really great option. Another one is Lisa Jewell's new release. I feel like thrillers are always kind of predicted to read within 24 hours, or, you know, read them pretty quickly. This one is, as I said, Lisa Jewell's new release. I have read a few Lisa Jewell books before. They're very easy to read, very bingeable. And this one is basically about our main protagonist, Jane, who is newly divorced and goes home with a stranger one night, and she goes back to his house. She's offered a drink, and then when she gets there, she hears like a scream and a bang, and that basically sends her running. She runs out of there. Probably smart move. Then 25 years later, later, she finds herself outside that house again to return a missing dog. But this time the dog's owner has gone missing. When she's outside the house, she sees like a ghostly looking figure, I think it's a woman, in the window, and she starts to uncover all these secrets that are surrounding this house. So a very kind of eerie one. I think it would be a super, super quick read. I feel like Lisa Jewell is definitely one of my go-to thriller authors. Her, Alice Feeney and Frida, love them all. So that one is also a really good option. I feel like they're my best two. Yeah, I think we're gonna go between those two, but I think I have to pick Main Characters by Bobby Palmer. This is just such an intriguing premise to me. And I haven't read a romance book in a little while either. I know this is like more of a fiction, but you know, we've got a line of romance that's giving those vibes. So I think we're gonna put this one on the TBR. And that'll give us some different genres as well. Okay, let's pick our fourth prompt. Let's go with one of these ones. I'm doing like different paper each time. A book with a map in it. Well, this is good. This gives us a fantasy. We can just go through all my fantasies on my TBR and see which ones have it. I wish I had the Poppy War, the third Poppy War, see if that had a map in it, but I don't have that physically. I was sure that this was going to. This was Light Welder by Rachel Schneider, and I was sure that it was gonna have a map in it, but it doesn't seem that we do. It's always so confusing to me. Yeah, we don't. It's always so confusing to me when a book doesn't have a map in it and it's a fantasy book. I always appreciate it when there's a map. Like, I don't know if that's a hard thing to do, but I always appreciate it when there's a map because it makes it a little bit easier for me to understand the world. Okay, two other options. This one's a little bit hard because this is a Riftborn, as we talked about before. This is an ARC edition. It's already out, but it says map to come. So I guess we'd just pick that one if we were really, really desperate to read it, because technically there would be a map, but I don't have a map. The other one that we could go for is Seek the Traitor's Son by Veronica Roth. I've been really wanting to read this one because I've actually heard good things. Yes, okay, this has a map. I have no idea what this one is about. We can read it together. Actually, I do. I've read the back before, but it says an epic romantic dystopian fantasy begins. A world at war, a prophecy that will shake the stars, a love that transcends it all. Elegy? I do not know if I'm pronouncing that right. I have not seen that name before. Did not ask for destiny to find her. She is happy with her life as a soldier, defending her small country from the Taluzar, a powerful nation that worships the deadly fever, a fever that blesses half of its victims with mysterious gifts. Then she is summoned to hear a prophecy. Her and the most ruthless Taluzar generals, Rava. Brought face to face, they learn one of them will lead their people into victory over the other, but they don't know which. And at the center of both their fates, a man that at Elegy is told she will fall in love with. In just a day, her old life, her job, her purpose, and her future is over. Sounds interesting. I feel like sometimes the blurb just like doesn't do it for me, but I have heard good things about this one, so that one's definitely a really good option. I don't know if I have too many more that could have a map. Actually, I have one more that's a very intriguing pick. This is, what's it called? Eternal Ruin by Tiger Skirma. This is the second book to Immortal Dark, so it'd mean we'd be continuing series. And technically there's a map. It's a very different looking map, but that's a map. If you don't know what Immortal Dark is, it is a very dark, atmospheric vampire academy setting book. I really liked it. Wasn't my favorite vampire book in the whole world, but I did really like the atmosphere. I really liked the world we were set in, and I'm definitely curious to see where the series goes. So maybe we should continue with this. Maybe we should continue a series. That might be a good idea. It's definitely on the chunkier side. It's a thick book, but it's a beautiful, this is actually an ARC edition and I still haven't got to it. So let's prioritize this. Let's get to this one. It came out last year. It's embarrassing that I haven't got to it yet, but yeah, let's read Eternal Ruin. I think that's a good pick. Definitely have gotten the fantasy back up on this TBR. Okay, let's pick our last prompt. I have no idea what I'm in the mood for. Okay, this one. A genre that scares you. A genre that scares me. Usually that is sci-fi. Sci-fi definitely intimidates me. We definitely could do a, I'm like, do I go with the red? No. Should I go with Red Rising? I don't know. I could do the next one in that series because I just finished the first trilogy. I just don't have it physically yet, but I could go buy it because I want to buy it anyway. Historical fantasy, historical fiction in general always intimidates me a little bit. Oh, do you know what we could do for a book that does intimidate me is The Burning God, the third Poppy War. That terrifies me. That's like historical fantasy, I feel like is always one that will intimidate me just because I don't feel like crying. I would love to say The Burning Side by Rachel DeMoff. So like, I guess literary fiction, but like emotional literary fiction, but that's not actually out in Australia yet. So I can't do that one either. I feel like my most intimidating genres are definitely sci-fi and are definitely historical fiction or historical fantasy. I think they're always just because I kind of have this fear of like understanding them, of making sure I understand what goes on, and also just being like lost. I hate the feeling of being lost in a book. I don't like, it makes me just not want to read it because I get intimidated by it. And sci-fi is also just something that is so outside my comfort zone. Like I usually don't read it. I don't know. Do you know, I probably should do The Burning God. That's just like a book in general that has been terrifying me, and I've been putting it off for such a long time. I don't have it physically, but I probably will either buy it physically or get it from the library. Both are fine options for me. I'm terrified to read this book. This book has been intimidating me. This is the third book to The Poppy War, if you're not sure. The Poppy War is a historical fantasy series by R.F. Kuang, where we are basically following our protagonist, Rin. She is training to be a soldier because we are set in a very war-torn world, except this is actually based off the Opium Wars. So please look up trigger warnings before you get in. It gets very, very dark very quickly. I just don't think I should put off The Burning God anymore. I've been kind of warned that I'm gonna have a hard time going into that one, but yeah, I feel like I shouldn't put it off anymore. It's not really a genre that scares me, but I feel like I don't have any sci-fi ones that are jumping out to me at the moment that scare me. And I feel like I'm getting better in that genre as well. Like I read a few sci-fi books last month and I'm definitely getting a little bit more comfortable. Why don't we go with Burning God? That's like the scariest book on my mental TBR and like series I need to finish. So why don't we go with that one? I think that's a brave choice by me. All right, that means our TBR is done, so let's wrap it up. Okay, first of all, we have a reread of Fourth Wing. I am so curious to see if my thoughts have changed towards this, and especially like, because I liked this one, but if I continue on to Iron Flame, so curious to see if my thoughts have changed, because for me, I really love the world, I love the setting, I don't like the characters. I have like no connection to any of the characters. So hopefully things are a little bit different. We then have The River She Became by Emily Varga. This is the prettiest book I own ever. Like it is absolutely stunning. So I'm so excited to jump into this one. This cover as well really intrigues me. Like these characters, they look so strong, you know, when characters just look like they have a really strong personality. That's always very exciting to me. Next, we have Main Characters by Bobby Palmer. I am so curious to get into this one and so excited. I feel like I haven't been this giddy over a book for a long time, or giddy to get into a book for a long time. Eternal Ruin, which is good. Finally finishing another series. And then of course, talking about finishing series, we also have The Burning God. I feel like this sets up my reading vlogs quite well as well. I can do some finishing series reading vlogs. Terrified for The Burning God. Absolutely terrified, but I do think it's time. And then I feel like once I finish The Burning God, I can continue other series that might tear my heart out as well, like the Red Rising series. So, you know, we're being brave. We're being brave. But that is everything on my TBR for the month. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you've got some exciting reads coming up for the month of August as well, just before we have our crazy month of September, which is just like an insane amount of releases. So we'll all be ready for that, all preparing for that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching to the end if you have. I love you all so much, and I will see you in my next video.